Hello, hello, and welcome back to Midlife Mojo, the show for women over 50 who are ready to feel strong, energized, and unapologetically confident in this season of life. I'm your host, Lisa DuPree, exercise physiologist, health coach, mom, baker, and this week, a woman deep into peak week as I get ready for my very first physique competition in a couple of days. And so today I'm giving you a little peek inside of my peak week. So let's just dive right in. First thing is, what is peak week? Peak week is the last 7 days before a physique or fitness competition. And it's really where all of the training, the nutrition, the mindset work come together. And really, honestly, as a first time competitor, I was a little anxious, nervous as to what peak week entailed. But it's nothing crazy. It's nothing punishing at all. It's really just about fine tuning what I've already been doing for several months. There's nothing drastic. There's no big last minute changes or shifts. It's about showcasing the work that's already been done. And so some small tweaks here and there are being made. My training is shifted to be less intense with a lot more posing practice. My food and water intake has gotten more structured. There's some carb cycling, there's water loading, there's some tweaks with sodium, and then my sleep, recovery, and mindset. All of those things are a little more focused as well. So let me walk you through just what a typical day this week has looked like so far. So mornings are pretty set. I do a quick body stats check-in every morning with my coach. I do some posing practice and send her pictures so that she has those first thing in the morning if there's anything that needs to be adjusted or changed. So based on kind of what those stats look like, what those pictures look like. So after I get all that done, then is breakfast. And right now, all my meals are pretty simple, but they're actually really nourishing. So think, lean proteins, a variety of different veggies, healthy fats, measured carbs. And I'm just being really extra intentional about how I'm fueling myself this week. Training is changed, like I said, a little bit less intense. Now it's more pump style workouts. And so that means they're shorter sessions, they're lighter weights, body weight, things like that. It's really just designed to keep my muscles full without causing too much inflammation. Water intake, that's probably the biggest thing. It is through the roof early in the week. And really, honestly, I feel like I'm drinking an Olympic-sized pool's worth of water. Like I'm practically moved into the bathroom. So later in the week, that's going to change as well. So it's going to taper down. That's going to feel a little bit weird. Mentally, it's a bit of a roller coaster. A lot of the times I just feel really ready. I want to get on stage. I want to get it done. I'm proud, I'm excited. So there's a lot of that. And then, other times I'm just second guessing everything and I'm doubting that I've actually done enough. So I've really had to remind myself daily that competition day is a celebration of this whole process. It's not just about winning. And no matter what, I'm gonna get some absolutely amazing pictures, so I'll have photographic evidence of accomplishing this goal, like, no matter what. I've been documenting more behind the scenes things this week on Instagram. If you want to check that out, I'm at Lisa DuPree Coaching on Instagram. Biggest things I'm learning, because this week really is this whole journey has taught me a lot. Uh, but this week is really teaching me a lot, and not just about like what is peak week, but about myself. So, discipline and self-trust, it keeps coming up because when you commit to something this big and bold and also this detailed, you really get to know yourself. I talked about this more in the last episode about getting to meet versions of yourself when you're going for a big goal, when you're stretching yourself, getting out of your comfort zone, that you don't get to meet when things are just like going along status quo or things are easy. You're not challenging yourself or you're not being challenged in ways that make you grow. And so really leaning into that discipline and trust, like holding myself accountable to do the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And with that, the other thing I've learned is mindset. Mindset is so big with this. I've really had to quiet the inner critic that I have in my head and celebrate my progress because there has been so much progress. Even if I don't see it week to week, I can really look back month over month and see there's been so much progress. And I even when I'm feeling tired and bloated and unsure and doubting things, like I really have to notice like how I'm thinking about things because that makes a difference. And then, peak week isn't just physical. That's the other thing. It's really emotional. And I have had to slow down, breathe, and focus on what really matters and showing up with my whole self. And that meant giving myself some grace and asking for help, getting help with other things in my life, or saying no to a couple of things, this week that I didn't wanna say no to or I wouldn't normally have said no to. Um, I've also learned that support matters, it matters so much, like, my prep coach, she's a great source of support and encouragement. My daughter, my significant other, my friends, you all in the Midlife Mojo community cheering me on, all of this has made this whole experience so much more meaningful and I think easier, honestly. It's made it easier. And when I first started this and I first like made this goal and then I decided to talk about it on the podcast, I really had some doubts. I wondered, could I build muscle postmenopause? Would my body respond in the way that I hoped it would? Would people laugh at me for even trying this? And yet here I am. I'm probably in the best shape of my life, not just physically, but mentally. And, for me, it's about proving to myself that age is not a limit, that this is just a different chapter in life. And overall, this isn't about looking a certain way or getting into a bikini. It's about becoming. It's about becoming someone who follows through, someone who dares to do something a little bit different that not everybody does, someone who defines what midlife can look like and what they want it to look like. So if you're listening and you're thinking, well, that's great for you, but I could never do that, stop right there. Like, yes, you can. Like, you don't have to go for a goal of getting on stage and doing a bodybuilding competition. But, whatever your goal is, whether that is getting stronger, starting a business, or just putting yourself first and, you know, doing more of what you want to do, you're allowed that. You're allowed to want more. And more importantly, you are allowed to go after it, even if you're over 50 or over 60 or beyond. I mean, geez, especially then, right? So, one mantra I've just kept repeating to myself a lot lately is you didn't come this far to only come this far. You didn't come this far to only come this far, right? I didn't get to where I am just to stay here or to kind of like coast or backslide even. And that is what is getting me through like every posing session, every protein shake, and every moment of doubt at this point. And you don't need to be prepping for a fitness competition to benefit from all this and what I'm learning and what I'm sharing with you. If you've got a goal that feels a little scary, maybe it is like setting up a personal record, lifting heavier in the gym, running a race, starting something new, starting something different. Like, I want you to know you can do challenging things. You can do hard things. And you don't need permission. What you need is belief that you can do it. And sometimes you borrow that belief from someone who's done it before. So let me say this loud and clear. It is not too late. You are not too old. You are worth it. And yes, you can do it. So that is what I've learned so far in peak week and this whole experience. If you want to follow my final prep countdown, head over to Instagram at Lisa DuPree Coaching. I'm going to be posting updates daily over there till the competition, some behind the scenes clips, and yes, my sparkly bikini sneak peek is going to be on there this week. So if this episode inspired you, share it with a friend who needs that extra nudge to go for it because we're not going to be slowing down in midlife. We're just getting started. Thank you so much for listening and thank you for being part of the Midlife Mojo community. I'll be back next week with a full post-show recap. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Until then, get out there and keep your mojo rising.